You are listening to the Ebony Covering Black America Podcast Network.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another fun-packed episode of Two Gems and a Mic. I'm Linda Dorsey along with Tanisha, the Diva Mahomes.
Hey Linda, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How's your weekend?
Great as usual. Doing all the things. Getting ready to get kid going back to school, so did a lot of school shopping. She's almost a teenager, so she stretched me a little thin this year, but comes with the job, I guess.
That's right.
How's your grandson? I know he went back. I know Noah was having a good time this summer with you, so
he's back in there. He's liking it. He got his friend. He's got a special friend that he likes and everything. So he gets to see him, and he's been FaceTiming. So happy for him. The social skills. He gets tired of talking to us old ladies all the time. But we got a fun-filled show, informational show. But we're gonna jump off with the WNBA playoffs since they started last night. So Tanisha, go ahead. Give me what you got.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I didn't see that coming. It got out of hand for a minute there, and then Parker got hot. She started firing up her team, and before you knew it, they had taken the lead. I went to the bathroom, came back, they were losing by 6. I said, "What just happened?" I don't know what just happened. Came in and they just, it was a hard fought game. That team came in hungry. They wanted it, and I think it caught them off guard a little bit. You kind of had the feeling like you knew that it was gonna be a close game at the end, because they were still in it. It was like a slow drag going, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, that's it then. So let me go to the bathroom real quick." Came back, I was like, "Then I lost the game."
Yeah,
I
was surprised. I was surprised too. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout. I give New York props. They've been scrapping all year. A lot of these teams have been scrappy, but I did not see the defending champions getting beat in the first game at home.
That's what got me at home, though.
Yeah, that's what got me. So, New York is happy because they got one going back to New York. So these are 3-game series. So I'm sure the Sky will bounce back. They're going to have some conversations. They got some vets on that team. So we'll see what happens if they come back on Saturday and play.
But that's what happens when, people, you just can't act like a team is not a pro team. No, you know what I mean? You can't go in there just assuming. People don't take lightly to that, that they don't have a chance. They have no chance in winning. And even when they were winning pretty much the whole game, and nobody was, it wasn't like people were like, yeah, they're going to come back.
Yeah,
you can just tell. It was just like, they're going to come back.
Yeah, the halftime score. I was thinking the same thing, but then they have those explosive players, and players were doing things and hitting shots. So, and their defense was good. They were getting, forcing turnovers. It was a good game.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens. But I do expect the Sky to bounce back. From the coaching staff all the way down to their players, and you got Candace Parker along with Vandersloot, Quigley, and Cooper and all them. You got some veterans on that team.
You can have an off night.
Yeah.
You can have an off night.
That's why I hated the one and done, because the off night would have meant Chicago was.
Oh, that would have been it. Oh yeah,
that would have been absolutely crazy.
Somehow I feel like it was one and done. They wouldn't have had a bad night.
No.
I think they wouldn't have had one if it was one and done. Their mind would have been in a whole different space. That one and done is not fun for anyone. So
no.
But yeah.
And then Aces defeated Phoenix. They need one more to advance. I gotta give Phoenix new coach, no Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi's out, Skylar Diggins is gone, Tina Charles left the team. It's like, y'all still in it?
Yeah,
and they played well.
They played. Like I said, nobody wants to be the team that doesn't have a snowball chance, and winning the game. They went out there, they played their hearts out, and you just named 4, to me, stars. Yeah. That they don't have.
Yeah.
And are not gonna have again. Let's be honest.
No, they're done for the season. I don't understand what's going. At the end of the year or whatever, maybe during the off season, there's so much to unpack with that Phoenix team. But Taurasi being hurt, then Skylar Diggins, I think her contract was suspended. She's done for the rest of the season, and she was having a good season. But it's just like, what in the hell happened?
And you don't really know either. That's what's so bad about it. You get a little leak here and a little leak there, but you really don't know. But you knew that Taraji and Skylar wasn't getting along because You saw it on the bench when old girl ran up in her face and looked like she wanted to choke out until she jumped up to down and said, "Who you think you talking to?"
Yeah,
and jumped up. Yeah, I was like, "Good Lord, this thing got serious. Y'all do know we can see you, right?" Like I was really shocked because it's men do it all the time. But it's been a minute since I seen that, and you like, dog,
and
WNBA,
it was
they really work. They work on having a good image, and that kind of threw me off. But yeah, it's egos, man. Egos work. Male egos, female ego. The ego is an ego.
Yeah,
but that team is done. That team is ruined. I don't know
with Diggins and the coach. So I don't know if the coach is going to return. How they're going to, regroup. But Sandy Brondello was a good coach. She left and she's in New York, and we see what New York just did in this one. So tonight. Upcoming. That's why we going, doing this a little early tonight. We got Seattle and Washington tonight. Should be a good series. I'm leaning towards Seattle, and it's not having to do with anything against Washington. It's because Seattle has Sue Bird, and Sue Bird's going out. This is her last ride. They gonna leave it all on the line. I mean, I can't even call that one.
Yeah, I was looking earlier, and they were like, who has the most pressure, Sue Bird or her team? You know what I mean? You don't want to be the team that don't do it. You know what I mean? But this is Sue Bird's, and I have to admit, I want her to win. Like I just do. Like she's such a good example of what a teammate is supposed to be. No trouble off. She's just a good person all the way around. You kind of want to see her in on a great note from a great career. So I have to be honest. I'm going to be cheering for him. I'm not going to lie to you.
Two things. She's a homegirl. She's from Long Island, so I'm going to root for her. That's
Absolutely.
Number one. She came up to UConn, so I'm a UConn fan. But, I mean, they've got a great lineup, and Washington has a great lineup. The disadvantage for Washington, I believe, is that they are playing in Seattle. Yep. And that's the only – I'm not going to say the only because I think there's some talent. You get those girls going, Jewel Lloyd, Stewie, her, Sue Bird – you get them going, and it's hard to stop. But Washington too, they could be streaky, and if Della Don is playing, the way she can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Dave. If she got a good massage on that back, you know what I'm saying. She got a good massage and get to shooting them, it could be some trouble. Yeah. I'm telling you, you can't play. Della Don is no joke. New
York
she get hot.
New York proved last night don't count anybody out.
And then you got the
Connecticut Sun versus Dallas, right? So Connecticut is always in the conversation. Dallas is there. It's going to be another good series. I'm looking forward to watching those tonight. That one I can't call either. I got to see who shows up, who's on the court, what's happening, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm not even gonna guess. I'm gonna let this first round, what they say, be his own hand. I'm gonna let this one go. But then I have something to say after I done seen them all play. I can see their heart, where they mind at. If the team is on, if everything is meshing together, if they ready to play as a team, anything can happen. So after this set of games tonight, I'll talk. I'll have an opinion. I'll have an opinion after this, but I'm gonna let this first round slide because I really can't tell. Like I said, I know who I want to win. I know I want to win, but I can't guarantee it because watching that first game kind of messed me up. Seeing them just walk in there.
Yeah. If I had bet last night, I would have lost some money because I would have put my money definitely.
And you wouldn't have been the only one.
On Chicago, right?
You wouldn't have been the only one.
Lose some money, but let's take a quick 30-second break, and we're gonna bring Darren in, and we're gonna talk some NFL right after this break. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah.
Hey everybody, you are tuned in with Two Gems and a Mic. We got our boy with us, Darren. What's going on, Mr. Smith?
What's going on, ladies? It's always good to be, on Two Gems and a Mic podcast where I'm surrounded by a couple of divas.
Hey. You know it. We happy to hear you. Have you as always too. We finna talk NFL.
Oh
You know
yeah.
I got an opinion.
I figured you didn't have me, saying on here to talk WNBA because a rumor I heard, I thought I heard something about somebody would have bet some money. Now, if that's the case, now I can send you a referral code so I can get some of that free money now. If you want to bet now, this is the time to do it.
Right.
I'm like Tanisha. I got to see them first games go.
Yeah. You ain't never lied.
Right.
I like my money.
So the NFL preseason is kicked off. So we last episode we talked about some quarterback challenges. One in specific was Mayfield and Darnold. So it's been announced that Mayfield he's the starter day one.
What you say?
I say it again. Mayfield.
What did I say?
Yeah.
What did I say?
I agreed with you. That was one I actually agreed with you on.
I told y'all if I tell you it's cheese on the moon, get your crack and follow me. I knew it. He done came in there doing the dances, doing the handshake. I knew it was over.
Yeah.
Darnold didn't have a chance.
Yeah. What you think about that, Darren?
Well, I mean that was a little different from what I was expecting, but
Really?
okay. Yeah, I mean, what I'm talking about the crackers and the moon and stuff and the cheese.
You wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't ready for that one, but
okay, yeah.
Oh, sweet Lord, but no, as it relates to Baker Mayfield, I mean, it's look, I'm not gonna lie. Considering he was the number one overall pick and Sam Darnold was number 3, I actually thought Darnold, because he spent a year in this offense, should have a leg up on Baker Mayfield. So I think it says more about Sam Darnold than it really does for Baker Mayfield. I mean, look, Baker Mayfield has walked on at 2 different programs in college and won the starting position. So for him to be traded in the manner in which he was and given the opportunity, he's done enough. Well, here I will say this. He hasn't been a quotable machine, so he's kept his mouth shut being in Carolina, and he's kept his head down and he's done the work. So if he kept that type of mentality, he probably would still be in Cleveland. But
interesting.
Yeah, but be that as may, I would say that again, I think it's more about Sam Darnold than Baker Mayfield. But but this team, I'm not sure whether I mean this team's not a playoff team regardless of who's at quarterback. But it does say a lot about Baker and his moxie, and maybe he learned a little something from being in from being in Cleveland and these last few months with the trials, that he had to go through, trials and tribulations to be where he's at now. I think it says a lot about his character as well. So salute to him. But again, I think it's more about Sam Darnold and what do you do, because, they're both on their rookie year, on their 5th-year deal. Obviously, Baker Mayfield took a cut and is only getting paid $5 million from Charlotte.
I like that only.
Carolina.
Only.
Yeah, from Carolina, and he's getting paid $10 million from Cleveland, and so yeah, I mean,
he ain't hurting no way. So Tanisha, do you agree that it was more about Darnold versus Mayfield? Because I saw that.
Yeah, I told you last time. I didn't think that Darnold he looked like the type of person that came in and meshed in well with that team. It only took me a couple of clips on ESPN and NFL Network to know that Baker he had already kind of won over the group. And you saw them on the sidelines. They were over there, looked like they were having a fiesta and a party. And we've seen Darnold, well, it just looked like he wasn't invited to the party. So I don't know any other way to put it. But I don't think that there's a big difference in talent.
Okay.
I don't believe that there's a huge difference in the talent between Darnold and the talent between Baker. But Baker can get in where he fit in. He has that ability. He did it at Oklahoma. He did it at Tech, just like Darren said. So this is not his first, let me come in and win you over rodeo. You know, when he came into Cleveland, he gave Cleveland something they hadn't had since the 80s, a win. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not playing. And they love Baker. And you said if Baker was a little bit more mature, when he came in, his first year and he's running around and doing all the crazy stuff or whatever. But I don't think that's why Baker got sent up out of here at the end. The truth is that there is a big difference in talent between Deshaun Watson and Baker. And if you can get Deshaun Watson, you're gonna take Deshaun Watson. That's all that was about. There's a tier level difference, in my opinion, between the talent of Deshaun Watson and Baker. It's nothing more, nothing less. The Browns want to win. They feel like they had a roster to get it done, and they knew Deshaun could get them over the hump, or they felt that Deshaun could get them a hump. I do not believe that they had that level of confidence in Baker. I don't think it has anything to do with Baker's antics, because Baker really wasn't acting a fool last year.
No, he wasn't. He really wasn't. I agree with that.
I'm sorry. When I say he matured, yeah, last year was an anomaly because he was hurt. I mean, he was kind of playing for. But what I'm saying is that, as you mentioned, his first year and then really I think his second year, obviously when Hugh Jackson got fired and then went over to Cincinnati, and then he's getting in the man's face, stuff like that, and doing all the little antics. Again, I mean, from where I come from, you see somebody like that doing something like, hey, look, you see little young white kid doing that to a black man, and doing all that. There's a maturity issue because you don't see that type of stuff from Tom Brady. Tom Brady and Tyrann Matthew, when they got into it at the Super Bowl, I mean, that's two grown men going at it, face to face in the middle, and the stuff that he was doing, the antics and stuff, again, he was doing in college, and he brought some of that to the NFL. I think in the bigger scheme of things, it didn't help him. So it didn't help his case. And so, as I said, now maybe enough criticism. He decided, I think, going into year 3, as in year 4 as well, he was toning it down. And so that's what that's
yeah, he did. And I mean, I like Baker Mayfield. I like him. I wish him the best. I wish Sam Darnold the best. I don't know any of these guys personally. There was nothing against any of them personally. Get in where you can fit in. So good analogy on that. I won't go to this Pickett and Trubisky because I only put them up there because I don't even think. Go ahead, Tanisha. I know you got some. You asked me a question earlier. Go ahead.
No, before we jump up off the Browns, I want to talk about. I don't know if you guys been listening, but the Dobbs talk over there in Browns land is no joke. Josh Dobbs is not out of the picture. We know who they're starting, but they were extremely impressed by the play from that first preseason games that Josh Dobbs had over there.
Well, we're going to come back. Let's come back to that because we got to hold Deshaun. Hold that for me, right? Let's talk about Pickett and Trubisky. I thought Trubisky looked good on his drive, the other night. They were just really, they've been hopped up on Pickett since the draft, right? So this is the guy. It's like, do they want him? I don't know. You know how people can, and when I say people, I mean media can amp up. Yeah, he had a nice drive. I didn't see anything that was so impressive. I saw some things that he didn't make good moves, but to say, oh my God, I'm going to pick this rookie over a guy who's been playing, and Trubisky to me was not horrible in Chicago. I think he kind of got screwed in Chicago.
Well, I agree. I'm going to jump right in on that. I think they gave up on him too quick over there in Chicago. And I'll tell you something else. If you remember back in, 2017, Trubisky had a really good first game when he went out there and played, and everybody was so amazed they made the right decision. It's Trubisky. So just because your first preseason game is amazing, let's pump the brakes. Mm-hmm. Let's pump the brakes. And by the way, he was playing at the end of the game. When everybody else done went to
third string. Some of them people probably still ain't even on the team that he was playing against, so we don't even know.
Half of them probably got their walking papers 2 days ago. So let's look at game 2. Let's calm down. But I will say that his wide receiver though, that's a dog.
Yeah,
he got a dog over there. Now, I will say that. But as far as that goes, I'm not sold on that dude. I still think it's Trubisky's job to lose. I didn't see anything that Trubisky did wrong.
To lose the job. So I don't know. What you think on that, Darren?
Well, I mean, I know we're talking about Pickett and Trubisky, but they did have a second string quarterback in Mason Rudolph. I mean, he's actually the veteran on the team, so so it's hard for me to just kind of try to.
We've watched him.
From
no, sir.
No. I know we watched him, but what I'm saying is, I mean, there's a reason why Mitchell Trubisky is not in Chicago any longer, and also a reason why. Matt Nagy's not there either, so let's not. Let's keep that in mind as well.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he didn't have a strong enough arm to be the starting quarterback for the Steelers. Mason.
I don't think so either. Not with the receivers he has.
Mr. Rudolph. He's got. Yeah, he didn't have an arm. He didn't have enough arm with the guys that he's got to throw the ball to. They never will win a game with him. So
yeah, but but all things being equal, I mean, I'm not. I know a lot of people, and including the students, that are actually high on their rookie quarterback. But at the end of the day, I just don't know. I think it's going to be more so a deal with Najee Harris. And I know Mitchell Trubisky is for some reason listed as the starter, but I think this team is going to be more. If Mike Tomlin has his way, of course, I think it's going to be more running the football and defense versus trying to depend on a quarterback like Deontay Johnson is good. Chase Claypool is good as well. But I just don't. I mean, as an overall team, as it relates to talent, I'm just not sold on the Steelers this year. Look, I think because of Mike Tomlin's pedigree and his history, it's hard for me to see them being under 500 because he's never coached.
Oh yeah,
no, that's not.
he ain't gonna let. If he got to suit up, he ain't letting that happen.
Yeah, but I can't see them. It's hard for me to see, even with TJ Watt being a defensive player of the year coming back, it's hard for me to see them really being that successful in their division when you also got Cincinnati, you got Cleveland, no matter how they look, and of course Baltimore as well. So it's gonna be, look, outside of AFC West, I think this is the second toughest division in all of the NFL. So Steelers gonna have they're gonna have a rough time. And again,
Coach
this is
Tomlin
a quarterback.
Pulling it out though.
Yeah,
I'm not going against him.
They pull it out, but as you all have made us well aware, still a quarterback's league. And so when you look at the quarterbacks in that division, at the end of the day, I mean, who are you taking, Mitch Trubisky or Rudolph?
What I'm saying, I'm not taking him over anybody, but you ain't got to be a superstar. You just said it yourself.
That's right.
Najee Harris, another thing. If he can game manage and do what he needs to do, they depend on defense. That's been historic with Pittsburgh. So if they can continue to do that and do what they need to do on that side, and Trubisky can just control, or whoever the quarterback is, I'm not even going to name him, whoever the quarterback is, just game manager.
And I think that he is absolutely qualified to do that. I think Trubisky has enough talent, more than enough talent, to be a game manager.
And he sat, he was behind Josh Allen last year. So
learning,
that's a good coaching staff that they have. He learned some stuff there. So it humbled him, and he learned some stuff. So I just think,
I will say that now, one thing I do, I have one mouth and I have 2 ears. Now I just heard you say how Mr. Trubisky sat behind Josh Allen. Now, so I want the same energy when we start previewing games as the season gets started about Jameis Winston and him sitting behind Drew Brees as well. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I know that energy was out there years ago.
Wait a minute.
Now, I'm a Jameson fan.
You lost your mind. I love that.
I believe if Tampa Bay was able to do everything that they did when Brady came in, I think that Jameson would have been more successful. But wasn't nobody restructuring anything for Jameson.
They were trying to be the highest paid in the league when he was over there. Every one of them.
Yeah, that's a whole different world. But let's jump into Deshaun Watson. Let's go ahead and go there, because
let's go. Well, what do you want to say?
Who wants to start?
I'll let Darren start because I got something to say about it.
Well, I'll let you start. So this is y'all show, but I guess I will start with the NFL and the NFLPA. They did finally get a chance to settle on Friday the Deshaun Watson stuff before the appeals ruling that came out. So they settled on an 11-game suspension, $5 million fine. Initially, the league was looking for indefinite, a year, at least maybe $5-10 million fine. Deshaun Watson was, said that he would be sufficed with an 8-game, $5 million fine. Me personally, I'm not giving them no money, but it is what it is. But that being the case, of course, they settle. Again, now if you look at the reports and you look at how social media and everybody react, everybody's dug in their positions regardless of how it settled out. Rich Eisen is crying, "Woe is me," and he didn't show me this. Well, he ain't got nothing to prove to you or apologize to you for, Rich. But be that as it may, just want to get you ladies' thoughts on the NFLPA settlement with Deshaun Watson being able to return in Week 13 against the Houston Texans.
Go ahead, Diva.
Well, personally, I told you, they didn't really have anything on them anyway. I knew it wasn't going to be a whole year because where are you getting a year from? You didn't have enough. And And I'm not shocked that it came back 11 games, 12 games or whatever it was, 11 games. I'm not shocked at all. I didn't ever think it was going to be 17 games. I didn't see how anybody could justify it. And the minute that Roger passed it off, I said that's probably going to work out in his favor even more, because anybody looking at it from the outside looking in, and you're going off of what we've seen, you can't throw that. You can't throw the book at him because you didn't throw it at anybody else. And if you read the CBA, like I said, if you read it, then you know that the standard is off of the owners. So you've said that many times, Darren. So, and personally, the fact that he said that I'm just because I paid settlement money, that I'm not saying that I'm guilty,
right?
And I'm standing on my innocence. I mean, what did you want him to do?
Right.
All of a sudden say I'm guilty?
No, I think he just wants to get this over. And I think, to me, Roger Goodell has wasted a lot of time. I think he was afraid. He should have stood up as the commissioner and made his decision from the beginning. If you wanted it 13 games, and 11 games, do the 11 games. Why go through all that stuff with Sue Robinson? The 6 games and now this and that. And I think he melted or shrank under public pressure. Public pressure. Everybody was so outraged it was only 6 games. He's like, I got to do something. And I think that's what he did. He jumped to do that. Now they got it. I'm at a point now, I'm like, damn it, move on.
Exactly.
It's done, move on. Let him pay his $5 million. Let him come out, bust up Houston in the first game back. He'll be ready. He'll be motivated. And let's move on. Because it's going to be another scandal.
Oh, yeah.
So we can ride this one, and we're going to talk about how scandals can override scandals in our next segment coming up. So
I will say this. As it relates to how it all played out, I'm not shocked as far, because remember I told you all that I thought it should be 0 games based off of what happened with the owners and stuff like that. Like, if you didn't punish them, well, he shouldn't be punished. But be that as it may, because he was suspended for X amount of games, the NFL had the right, as well as the Players Association, to turn around and appeal it. They did, obviously, in the CBA. Goodell gets to appoint or choose himself. If he wanted that essential power to suspend him a year, he could have, and he should have taken it on himself, suspend it for a year, whatever. But I think, obviously, as we talked about before, what they didn't want to have to do is the Players Association turn around and sue in federal court.
Right.
And then you have what's called discovery. And then, of course, with discovery,
it was too
you
much.
get a chance to see, well, let me see what you did to the Houston Texans, because they just settled 30 lawsuits because of Deshaun Watson. What type of investigation, what type of punishment did they get?
Yeah. So it was time to move on. Make what they say, do it or get off the pot, right?
And
Trying to keep it a little clean.
At the end of the day, if you were already upset and mad about Deshaun Watson, there was nothing that would have came out today outside of an indefinite suspension that would have pleased you, and some $100 million fine because you're upset about his contract. Again, he's fined $5 million, but hell, that's just giving. All he's doing is giving back half the money that he sat out for last year. So his contract technically is still not even being.
And the thing was, like we said, it wasn't a matter of satisfying people. Just you're supposed to be doing what's right, and that's all I wanted, was to just do what they felt was right, what was fair, or whatever.
Well,
and you're not gonna.
It's between right and fair. I think they made it do what they felt was right. But what I'm
saying is, you're not gonna please everybody. So everybody's not going to be pleased. Some say it should have been the 6 games. Some say it should have been none. Some say this is okay. My thing is just move on at this point.
I've seen.
Hold on, Tanisha. You know what they call this, Tanisha, in the real world? Call it compromise, because both sides aren't happy. And
and that's what I'm saying. You're not going to please everybody, so you got to come to a compromise in order to move on, or do you drag this out forever? And I just. Go ahead, Tanisha. Go ahead.
No, I totally agree with you. You weren't gonna please everybody. I've seen people saying he should have had a permanent ban and everything, and I'm like, and it was like he'll get booed everywhere he goes. And I'm like, Sean Watson has 235 million reasons not to give a damn. Okay, he gonna show up and he gonna play football. Get over it. Like, you guys got what you wanted. I mean, and it got extended. They didn't even have to really. To me, it's really unfair what they did to him. Fair was what she did to him, Sue. That was fair because that was the precedence. That was what was happening. Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad the guy's gonna finally get to sit down and do whatever he's gonna do, either be good or been out so long he's not good. Whatever's gonna happen, I'm just glad it's about to play out and that we can get back to good football and move on. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of that Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson
that
stuff.
story is done.
It's played
With
out.
that, we're gonna go ahead. First of all, Darren, we want to thank you for popping in for this segment. We got another one coming up, but we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll see you in 30.
All right.
Hey, thank you for hanging with us. It's two Jims and a mic. We're back. We can switch it up a little bit. Still sports related, but Tanisha, you hit me on this last night, and this Netflix documentary, Untold: The Girlfriend Who Didn't Exist. Wow. Go ahead and let's dig into this a little bit.
I'm gonna tell you, I stumbled on it. I had seen like something earlier with them advertising, and then I stumbled across it and I went, man, I'm gonna take time to watch this. And boy, was it good. I'm telling you, I have such a different level of respect for Mr. Te'o. I mean, this guy endured so much crap that I think would have broken the average person, and he stayed steadfast in his belief, and I believe in his faith, and I believe that's what got him through. It brought me to tears. I'm not gonna lie. You look at what we always say: be kind, be blessed. They were anything but kind to him. This was a guy who had confidence. Anybody that says words, don't hurt you, they're on crack. They do hurt. And they probably shortened his career, stripped him of a lot of his confidence, made him and his family go through a lot of public humiliation, embarrassment, and I'm so happy that he got the therapy that he needed, and his family stayed there and supported him through everything, and that he is thriving as a human being today.
Yeah. And it cost them millions. But
oh man,
just watching, and it happens now, right? So the media without facts, and this came from the people from Deadspin that released the story, and they didn't release it with a agenda. They released it because it was a story. That's what they did. The media took it and ran. The guy was gay. He was in on it. He was this, he was that. And it was just like with no fact checking, just stuff that they heard. Then when he went on Dr. Phil, now people were like, oh, well, that was the guy, with a woman's voice, or it was this. And it's like,
Anaya.
Oh, you got to be pretty naive to be in love with somebody or talk to somebody for 3 years and you don't know. No, maybe he was naive. Maybe he was young, but he seemed like a very caring soul. So he trusted that person. And what that person was doing was giving him encouragement, doing things like that. But then when the lies and the tragedy and all that other stuff, he had to deal with a lot because his grandmother died. And then a couple of hours later, they call and say that she died. So all the stuff that she's going through, and you still think this is a real person. So, it was disturbing in some ways. I'm disturbing from, I don't even know if it was like after listening to her talk, like to say, was it so malicious? Because they were in a bad headspace too. So
Renaya at the time, I'm not sure what she's transgender now, mm-hmm. Female. But I will say this. At the time, he came from a prominent football family. Mm-hmm. He knew it was transgender. He knew he was a quarterback. And he hated it, and he says it very clearly. He felt like he was trapped. Yep. He had to go do these things because that's what you did over there in Hawaii. But what he did is he used the character Lene to live his life through because he couldn't live the life that he wanted. That he wanted to live. So he created this character, but it got out of control. And when it did, it just spun, and it became something that he couldn't figure out how to pull it back. He could not pull it back. and he started creating more characters. But I think one of the things that really touched me the most was poor Manti. He actually met the guy and didn't even know he met him.
Yeah. When they hugged at that one event, that was
when he brought
crazy.
when he brought his little sister with him, and
right. And then the woman, think about it, how it all started. The woman's picture that they used, her image that he used to create that. She was upset about it. She didn't even know half of this stuff was going on. So it was just really, really kind of like twisted, and you're like, wow. But like you said, that it got so out of control that it was like you couldn't even reel it in. But one of the things that one of the media personnel, the female, I can't remember her name, and shame on me, but she did say the media will build you up, but just as much as they build you up, they will tear you down. And that is the truth.
Yeah, she mentioned about him being that naive. She was one of the ones that mentioned, she goes, I can't believe that he was that naive. But you have to remember, he's from a small area, and he said at the beginning, faith, family, and football.
That was it. Yep.
That was it. That's all they did there. He said, because if you did not get a football scholarship, you were not going to college.
Exactly.
And he was a very simple person. He prayed, he had his faith. And I'm telling you, faith is what saved him. Because one of the most heartbreaking parts of the documentary to me was at the very end when he broke down and he was crying. And he was talking about how he had such anxiety after he had already fallen down from the first round to the second round and lost millions of dollars.
Yes.
And how the football field was always sort of his domain. And he talked about how every time he walked out for 3 straight years with the Chargers, his feet were numb, and all he could think about the entire game is, I can't make a mistake.
Right.
I can't make a mistake.
That kind of pressure on yourself. Yeah.
That was so heartbreaking to me, because imagine a game that you love, that you have excelled in your whole life. Now it's almost foreign to you because you're so worried, you're so in your head. He suffered. He had mental health issues.
Yeah.
And still does to this day. He had to get some help.
Yeah. It's worth watching. If you get a chance, go, and like I said, it's on Netflix. It's out there. I think it's actually trending, but it's The Girlfriend That Didn't Exist. Manti Te'o, and wish him the best or whatever he does, because just listening to him talking, he's a genuine guy. Always seemed like he was a genuine guy, very grounded, very family oriented. His family, and that was one thing I thought it was beautiful. His family stood by him through it all. Throughout they never questioned him, and like his father said on one of the shows, he's not a liar. So what he's telling you is the truth. He's not a liar. So sad in many ways, sad in both ways for the what was her name? Naeem?
It was Renaya at the time, but I can't believe something Naya. I think it's just Naya now. But it was Renaya at the time. But I will tell you this: I was disappointed in Renaya, because that the whole entire time that she was giving her version of the story, she seemed like she had zero remorse. She seemed like it was telling the story. It was like over her head. Yeah. It's just like a story. Yeah, one day I was back at, it just seemed so, she seemed so detached to the harm that she had caused him. And I would have liked for her to have apologized, because if you notice at the end of the documentary, he said he forgave her.
Yeah. She was so disingenuous. It's still her thing. So it was almost like, I don't know, almost like coming off kind of like a victim,
Exactly.
And you weren't, right? Everybody can be a victim of their own circumstances. This is something you created, and I understand you couldn't get out of it because it got out of control way before she could get out of it. But go check it out. Good thing to watch this weekend. All right, Tanisha, we getting ready to wrap it up in a few. You got some closing comments on anything going on? Doesn't have to be on what we talked about. Anything?
No. I mean, I really don't. I'm looking forward to football tonight. We're going to talk about whatever happens. Chicago's
and
back
some
out there
WNBA.
tonight.
And some WNBA.
Looking forward to some WNBA. And hope you guys enjoyed the show this week. And remember, if we're talking about it, you need to hear about it. And as always, be kind. And
be blessed. But I just want to add another thing to our closing. I gotta shout out. I want to thank Brittany and the Blue Crew for all of the love and support that they've been giving us on Twitter. We're continuing to grow. We want people to remember, vote. as we grow on that platform, more people will hear us, hopefully, and follow us. We're trying to give out good vibes, and we always say be kind and be blessed, and we mean this because it costs nothing. It costs you nothing to be kind, and blessings will flow your way. So as Tanisha said, and I'll reiterate, and as we always close out our show, remember, be kind, be blessed.
Have a good one, guys.
You are listening to the Ebony Covering Black America Podcast Network.